my mom and my sister work at the same place. They drive together. They commute together and
Yeah.
everything.
Sure. Yeah.
So like my mom's just like, well, I don't know, like I only really had like a cough and that was it. And I'm just like, okay, well, Erica told me she had a fever Monday night and she's like, oh yeah, she did have a fever. She's like, but I haven't seen you in like 2 weeks. And I'm like, I just dropped off Marcus Monday. Like I saw you guys Monday and I got sick Thursday. Like I'm like, it's COVID and I got it from one of you two. But I didn't
Yeah.
say that, but I was just
Yeah.
like I'm like everyone I've seen in the last 2 weeks, I've only really seen you two and my group of friends on Sunday, but everyone from Sunday is absolutely fine. Nobody's even had a stomach ache.
Right.
You know? Like,
Right.
but the two people I saw, well, the three people or four people I saw on Monday, out of four of them, two of them are sick, or two of them have been sick, right?
Right.
And then, so I'm like messaging Erica, and she's like, "Well, mom tested herself for COVID, and she didn't have it, so I just assumed I didn't have it." And I'm like, "Well, you should test yourself again, because I definitely have it." Like,
Yeah.
and I because my mom was like, "Well, neither of us have COVID, so I don't know." Because she was like basically speaking for Erica and herself, because she's like, "Well, if I don't have it, Erica doesn't have it, right?" So like, and I'm just like, so I'm like, all right, maybe I had a false positive, and maybe I'm just like going through a cold, right? Maybe they just had a cold and they gave me a cold, and there was a false positive. Maybe I fucked something up, or I touched something, or whatever. Because like, there's a possibility that there's a false positive. But I was like looking at my result. Like when I looked at my results originally, it was two very solid red lines, right? Like
Yeah.
not even like a little bit of fading or whatever. Like just very solid red lines. So I'm like, all right, that's pretty unlikely that's a false positive, but just to humor my mom because she's like, well, yeah, you should take another test. And I'm like, all right, fine. I take another test and it's like even more red. The lines are even like more red. They're like crimson, you know? So I'm just like, yeah, I am 100% sure I'm super positive for like these are the angriest red fucking lines I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like I'll
Oh
send you
man.
a picture of like what my test results looked like because it was just so red. Like Becca could see it from like across the room. Um, it looks like I bled in there. Like,
My God.
um, yeah. So I'm like, and then Erica's like, all right, well, I'm gonna take a test because she hasn't. She just
Oh
hadn't.
man. That's very red.
So Erica takes the test and she's like, okay, the control line is fine. She's like, but I can't really see the test line or whatever. And she's like, I think I'm negative. And I'm like losing my mind. I'm like, how the fuck did I get COVID? Like, but these two didn't, and they were the only ones I've known that are sick. So I'm like, am I patient zero for like a new strain?
Oh God.
Did they just carry it to me and now I'm making something different in my body? But no, then Erica like texts me like 5 minutes later. She's like, oh yeah, the line's coming in on the bottom. She's like, fuck, I have COVID. And I'm like, yeah, you got COVID. She's like, I haven't had COVID before. She's like, it was so mild. I'm like, well, the Eris strain, the new one, is supposed to be very mild. Like, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm pretty sure it's what you got because it's supposed to be resistant to like antibodies and stuff like that or whatever. So I'm just like, like, yeah, and then my mom is still going to Erica like, hey, are you gonna? Because Erica's like in Buffalo during that time, so she's up with her boyfriend in Buffalo, and like she's she's like, fuck, I'm like in Buffalo and like I'm supposed to work tomorrow back down in Galloway. And I'm like, well, you probably shouldn't go into work. And then my
Yeah.
mom's like, Erica, you should come into work. Like it's your last week. Like which like this whole situation with my sister is like a whole fucking thing. Uh but yeah, I have
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah.
Um but I'll